There arrives in Seattle a small cargo of humanity which has never known peace on Earth.
My name is Nathan Budziak, and I am actually 27 years old.
My name is Holly Romanek. I was adopted from Korea when I was 4 months old.
My name is Deanne Borchet. I was born on March 3rd, 1966, the moment I stepped off the airplane in San Francisco.
For infants born into the desolation of war, new life and new hope in a new homeland.
I went to restaurants, and I was probably in middle school or high school with my brother too. They would ask if I wanted to pay separately, which was, I don't know, it was a little like hurtful.
It was when I would go into public, I guess, with my family or by myself, and that's when I would kind of get looks and stares and stuff. And like going to restaurants, and it still happens, going to restaurants, and I have my two parents who are Caucasian, and they're in front of me, and then the host or the hostess says, table for two, and then I'm just kind of standing there like, oh no, it'll be three.
As a young kid growing up in a white American family, it's kind of tough because you get made fun of at school. At least I did. And the kids would ask me where I was from. And people had heard of China and Japan, but they hadn't really heard of Korea, at least, kids on the playground. And so I felt like, what am I? And I'm kind of weird. And they do the Chinese eyes to you. And it's kind of tough because you bear that alone. You don't have any brothers or sisters that can share that with you.
My outward appearance has affected and spurred my inward identity to become sort of Korean, I guess. There's a longing to go back. I like to connect to the Korean culture because I feel that's my roots. It should be important to me.
I don't know. It's weird. When I was younger, in high school and stuff, I really didn't feel like I cared about my identity. I was just like everybody else. As I started to get older and I entered college, I started to become more Asian. I started to race cars and, start hanging out with more Asian kids. So I kind of started to find an identity. I don't think I ever say I'm American, though. I never say I'm American. Even in China, if people ask, oh, what are you? And I would say, oh, I'm Korean. No, I'm going backwards. I've been, I was raised American. I was raised Caucasian. And now I'm just starting to, learn more about my Korean culture and my Korean heritage. And
when we have the family reunion, I don't know, maybe it's because I was painfully shy growing up or something, but I feel kind of not belonging a little bit. But
I'd come home from school and I'd be really upset about the one boy who seemed to torment me for 3 years in a row. And, I would tell her these stories and she would just look at me like, I don't really understand your problem. I think you're being too sensitive. I think...
It's often thought that, well, by coming here you benefited, all those things don't matter. But in fact, they do matter. And One does not replace the other. The wonderful things that I've gained by coming here does not replace the loss. And those two things coexist within me. And I've come to realize that this is the paradox that has become my life, the loss and the gain. And it's when we're thinking about adoptions of infants or children, it's important, obviously. It's also important to think about the long-term impact for international adoptees and symbolic and emotional issues that are just complicated.
I remember going up to my mother and telling her, "I'm not who you think I am." She turned to me and said, "Oh, honey, you've just been dreaming. Don't worry about it. They're just bad dreams. They're going to go away soon."
I think at some point as a child, I made a decision that I would never forget Korea.
And this was probably when I was like 24, 25, that I wanted to start separating myself kind of from my environment. So I started to kind of lean towards being more Korean and identifying myself as being more Korean.
For a long time, I couldn't talk to my American parents about my Korean family because I felt like I was somehow being disloyal to them. That here they had done all these wonderful things for me and provided a lot of opportunities for me and loved me a lot. And it was like putting dirt in my mouth somehow if I were to somehow, talk to them about a Korean mother. And I had a particular difficulty talking to my American mother about my Korean mother.
You were Ok Chin Kang or Kong or whatever. It didn't matter to me. You were Deanne. To me, it was quite scary. I was afraid I was going to lose you. You belong to us at home.
Yeah.
As a child, I accepted them as my parents because I depended on them for survival. But as an adult, I think that I haven't accepted them as my parents. And I think that's
Part of the distance.
I've been feeling with them for a lot of years.
Because I've always been like that outcast, even though I don't try to be. I guess it's just kind of set the tone for what I live now, and that's just trying to be different than everybody else.
I just want to mention that if you have ever met parents or people who have adopted children, you know that they are super parents.
The wonderful things that I've gained by coming here does not replace the loss. And those two things coexist within me. And I've come to realize that this is the paradox that has become my life, the loss and the gain.